You there! This is Dave and Jason.
Hey!
From DC On Screen. It's that time again. We need help from you to grow our show. But keep listening because there's something in it for you. Give us a 5-star written review on iTunes for a chance to win a free DC trade paperback, DVD, or Blu-ray valued at $15 or less. 1 in 10 will win. The winner will be randomly selected with a number generator on random.org and announced on one of our news episodes. It's pretty simple, really.
Free stuff!
Hooray! Anyway, yeah, seriously, do that. It helps us a lot. It's, like, so good. Anyway, sit back, enjoy this brand new episode of DC On Screen. Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 228. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hey.
Today we're going to get super spoilery on Supergirl 2x02, The Last Children of Krypton. To recap, James temporarily has Kat's job. Kara doesn't have a job, at least that's what her mean new boss Snapper Carr says. The mysterious stranger from the Kryptonian pod is sapping the DEO's power to heal, and there are 2 Metallos. Cadmus unleashes them on Superman and Supergirl after announcing their alien-killing selves to the world. Also in this episode, Jean and Superman debate Jean's keeping Kryptonite. Of course, Cadmus got their hands on Kryptonite because the DEO has a mole. Alex and Winn figure out who it is and stop them. Then Alex, who feels left out since Clark's been around, talks about her feelings with Kara, and then she wears that mech armor suit from last season to help Kara and Clark fight the Metallos with John in tow. In the end, John lets Clark destroy the rest of the DEO Kryptonite. Clark goes back to Metropolis. Supergirl says goodbye to Kat and lets the pod traveler know that when he wakes up, she'll be there to help guide him. And of course, he wakes up and starts choking her.
Yeah, not a morning person, that guy.
That silly old Monale.
Yeah. Maybe my favorite line in this episode was out of Superman. The guy punches him and says, if your bullets didn't work, then why the punching? I've never understood that.
Yeah, I was in the middle of making the note when he said it. And I was like, okay, lantern hung. Move along.
Well played, Joe. Well played.
Oh, man. I actually groaned when Kat said the cat is out of the bag.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a rarity. I usually don't groan at what Kat says.
No, normally it's
I'm usually like, oh, that's good.
It's great. Well, they had to do something that'll like lighten you up, like butter you up, I guess, before they pulled that speech out. Their little goodbye moment was just damn.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to mention this. It's going to sound like I'm being negative here, and it is negative, but it cracked me up. How John Corman flapped his arms when he shot his kryptonite beam.
Yeah, it was weird. Like the triggers in his back somehow. He's just got a flex right. I don't know.
I don't know. It looked like someone was secretly like it's like an action figure. Like someone was squeezing his arm.
Yeah.
His legs together.
I guess like
for his arms to flap.
While directing the episode, they kind of thought, man, we've got to have some motion that indicates that he's doing that. And maybe you just didn't.
No, they don't.
Maybe you didn't. Also, Metallo, don't name yourself, buddy.
Oh no, they named him.
Did they?
Yeah, last week
goodness.
They were like, "You're not like Sue Ellen Mishke from Seinfeld tells John Corbin that he's not John Corbin anymore. He's Metallo."
Oh, thank goodness! I'd forgotten that. It's one of the pet peeves of anything is don't give yourself a name.
What's weird to me is that they said that the metal that he's made out of is promethium.
Yeah,
I don't honestly remember how this went down in the comics. It's one of those things I've just lost over the years.
Yeah.
But in the animated series, the metal that he was made of was called Metallo, and that's why he was called that.
Which would have been fine. Could have just kept that, right?
Yeah. I mean, if the comics did it differently, they were wrong. TAS was just, as usual, the Paul Dini stuff is on point. That said, I didn't mind the guy who played him. He seemed like a little bit of a Tom Hardy to me. I kind of dug it.
Yeah, he did fine. And God, that first fight gave me 2 shots that I loved. One, the iconic shot that was just a nice wink. And 2, though.
Now I've heard a lot of people saying that they wasted a Crisis reference. I didn't feel they wasted it. I just thought it was a nice iconic shot.
Oh, that was a nice iconic shot. We're not going to do Crisis. I mean, you can't waste a Crisis reference.
I didn't think they were going to do Crisis.
No
part of me was like, oh no, they're going to do Crisis. No,
it's never going to happen. It's dreaming too big.
If you did that, that's on you.
Yeah. But dude, the You know, though, I just looked up Metallo, and sure enough, there's an image of him like opening his chest thing to reveal the kryptonite, and his arms are winged out.
Oh, I know.
It just didn't.
I
You just
feel
didn't
like
think it
there's-
translated this way.
It looks cool on the comic book page. It doesn't look cool in real life.
That's
You
fair.
have to change
Hey,
things.
not everything
sometimes.
translates, yeah. But man, that shot of his hand getting melted was pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the episode did way more right than it did wrong.
Oh God,
I
yes.
thought.
Absolutely.
Oh, but as soon as Jean said a shipment of kryptonite went missing 4 months ago, I went, oh, I guess we know who wins that fight.
Yeah. He kind of at the end he says it's every piece of kryptonite on the planet, and I kind of thought, like, the whole planet? You're sure? The whole.
Of course, he
whole
won't
planet.
be right.
Yeah.
But I was like, but how are you going to train Supergirl now?
Yeah. I mean, maybe she just passed that part of her training.
Maybe.
They did spend a lot of time in that facility last season, and actually, that little fighting room was at the other facility that they're not using anymore. I don't know if they built one over here or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if they show up fighting and sparring in that facility later, and the walls are green, I'm gonna go ha 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 ha. You left some. Ah. Oh,
Careful show.
Yeah.
Watch your step.
watch it. We're looking. You know, I thought I was gonna hate Snapper Carr just because it's Snapper Carr, but when he said,
Oh no, man.
when he said the line "Before I channel my last divorce and break you emotionally," he really warmed the cackles of my heart with that one.
Yeah. The bit that I actually wrote down was let me see if I can find it. So when he yelled at Kara and she just kind of sputtered, and he's like, "Thanks for killing the last lingering hope you'd speak or write well." I like that actor.
Yeah, me too. I just didn't know what they were gonna do here, and it's Snapper Carr.
I wasn't expecting him to be so mean and so curmudgeonly, but I knew that if they got him, it was going to be okay. It was going to be fine.
you got to trust
Like,
your
when
actor.
I saw
sometimes.
him, yeah, when they announced him, I was like, oh, dude, Gomez is going to kill it. He's going to kill it.
Yeah.
Well, whatever they have him doing, whatever direction. I've seen that dude do a few different things, kills it every time, vastly different things. I knew whatever it was, he was going to kill it.
Yeah, he came out all right.
Why does Cadmus look so damn dirty?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing that.
Like, everything in Cadmus it's like low lighting and just filthy. Like the surgical lights hanging just like have stuff streaming off of them like dried liquid. Looks like someone poured coffee all over it.
Is it just part of the
Let it drip
ongoing? There's like an ongoing trope that bad guys just don't clean their facilities as well.
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
Like, it's
and think about it. It
almost
makes
as,
sense though. If you're like a facility full of bad guys, you don't have which one of you is going to admit that they will actually do the sweeping? That's not. Sweeping's not evil.
You have underlings do that.
Sweep, henchman.
I don't know.
For you are not evil enough to be a not sweeper.
I think I much more prefer the I'll call it the Whedon-esque trope of evil being super clean. Like, just white, spotless facilities. Seems like a place you'd want to be, but in truth, you really don't.
Yeah. In his version, you could almost tell the bad guys floss.
Yeah,
Because you know what? Taking care of your gums, hey,
kind of evil.
kind of. That's actually true though. If you want to have a good presence as a bad guy, you want that big old shit-eating smile, right?
Right, of course.
So, take care of your kid, your teeth, kids. If you want to grow up and be evil.
I did laugh when Superman told Jean, "You can't offer friendship with one hand and kryptonite in the other."
That was good. That was good.
Oh, and I loved Jean's line. I have to, because Mars is a crypt, because angry gods burned our young,
Yep.
and we were helpless to stop them, because I will not be caught unprepared again. Dude, shipment lost or not, you just made your case for me. I disagree with you at the end of this episode. You do need kryptonite hanging around. Of course, I'm a Batman proponent, so I would think, yes, you need
Right.
kryptonite somewhere.
Even Superman
in case.
Even Superman knows that. He famously gives him a little chunk and says, "Hide this in case I ever, you ever need to use it against me."
And I find it odd that they're going with this kryptonite story in this episode, because we are exactly 3 episodes away from the episode where Superman was brainwashed.
Yeah.
Of course we need kryptonite on Earth. Come on, dude.
I agree. We're practical people though in some capacities.
in some capacities. I loved Alex's
have to
line.
qualify
Does
that.
he understand? Yeah. I loved Alex's line to Kara about Superman. Does he understand he abandoned you with us? Do you?
Yeah.
Man, that was harsh.
Yeah. I thought they were going to get into it a little bit more between those two, but we can always bring Tyler back and, have him have
Fingers
a...
crossed, man.
Yeah, I don't want to... I don't want it to become like the Superman and Supergirl show or anything, but he was good to have around. I hope to bring him back a little bit.
I mean, at this
Bring him
point...
back for the crossover.
At this point? Oh, God, yes. At this point, though, I just want a Superman show.
I think he could probably
down
carry
with
one. It would be very much reminiscent of like the Adventures of Superman from back in or Superman the animated series. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Can we cancel Krypton and just do a Superman show with Hecklin?
I would start that petition today.
So how'd you feel about the second Metallo?
As a device to finish up the episode was fine. Otherwise, I have zero feelings about him. I was like, cool, all right, that's how they're playing this. Great, team up.
All right, these there are certain types of lines I could do away with. Yes, they're tradition, but they are awful. Supergirl tells Metallo, "It's over, Metallo." Really could deal with never hearing that again.
Just
It's
anyone
over,
ever saying
insert
it's
bad guy's
over,
name.
dude, in the middle of fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I mean,
can
it
get
did
behind
make
that.
me laugh in Batman v Superman. It did make me laugh in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Cavill's just so serious saying it's over, Luthor. I'm like, that was just silly.
I could get behind that movement. Winn has not done anything particularly plot advancing, I feel like, so far this season. I mean, he hasn't really have his own story going on. I mean, the thing with him and Toyman last year was fantastic, and I'm sure they'll get around to using him for something. But in the meantime, he is making wonderful comedic relief.
Yes.
Like I forget what he does with his actual body, but he says, Superman and Martian Manhunter are going to fight, and that what it. Like, this is terrible. This is awesome.
Yeah. By the way, I felt like the Metallo shields that he created for the supers were, well, I felt like they were just advertising a toy line.
I just kept thinking they should go under the suit, but
Yeah, I kind of thought it was going to be like an all over thing.
yeah,
I mean, I wasn't because I saw the scenes when they were shooting.
yeah. But
Someone leaked
Winn
those,
says it
but-
himself. He didn't really have a lot of time to whip this together.
Yeah.
Now, but when he does that, they're having a little round table discussion, and he says, "I get to make Superman's new suit," and then Superman just nods at him, no pressure. Wonderful, just wonderful. At the very end, like he's saying bye to Superman with everybody. He goes in for the hug.
Yeah.
Oh, but the best part, like Superman sees what he did and says like "good work" or something like that. I can't remember. I don't even remember what he said to him. It was just something like, "Hey, good work." Are you crying? No. Yep.
What's funny is like I do enjoy this guy playing Superman. Mm-hmm. I don't get that feeling from him.
What the
Like I'm a little bit at a loss for why everyone just completely is beside themselves over him.
I'm not. I think he's pulling it off pretty well. But he's kind of taking on the big blue Boy Scout aspect of it that we, and he's doing a pretty good job of that. So I'm pretty happy to empathize with. He said I did a good job. Oh my God, my life is complete. Like that makes sense to me.
We haven't really talked about it at all on this show, I don't think. Mm-hmm. But where do you stand on all of the people online who were trying to compare the Tyler Hoechlin and Henry Cavill Superman?
Apples and oranges.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, there's not one version of any of these characters.
Well, no.
So, I mean, I like both of them, and that can be okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I stand on it. I mean, Hoechlin is a version of Superman that's been around for a really long time.
And one that I adore. But I also
Cavill's Superman just started out.
Yeah, I also like playing with, he's teething, I'll call it, in his Superman days. Mm-hmm. This one's already gone through that. For all we know, he had I think you said at some point, for all we know, he did, roam around the Andes listening to Chris Cornell or something like that. I can't remember if you said that on the show or if we were just talking.
I think we were just talking, buddy. I don't think they said that on the show.
But it's true, for all we know.
For all we know, he could have.
He might have decided to just give up and not
maybe
save
this
anybody.
version was Pearl Jam.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Now, something I really like, though?
What's that?
Supergirl looks downright mean when she takes Metallo down and pulls the little camera up. She's talking to Cadmus. Can you see me? Can you hear me? This isn't over. I'll find you. Mm-hmm. She actually pulled off scary there for a second.
Yeah, she did a pretty good job.
I mean, I would be a little worried if I were them.
I know I'm worried, and I'm not even them.
Right. She could be anywhere.
I don't know why I said that. That was dumb. Moving on. So we get some confirmation, more confirmation that Kara and Alex's dad are alive.
Yeah.
I'll tell your father you say hello.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we knew he was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I have much else for this episode. Really? It was an enjoyable episode for the most part.
Delightful.
Really enjoyed Superman. I was probably more sad than Kara was that he was leaving.
But not more sad than Winn. Winn was the most sad.
But Winn was the most sad, absolutely.
Didn't seem like Jimmy really cared much, or James cared much at all.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing because
they were friends,
really
right?
didn't see him. Yeah.
It's almost like he kind of shrugged and went, yeah, I see that cat all the time. It's like his best friend was a rock star and everybody gets excited. And it's like, yeah, man, I mean, come on, I hung out with him. I was just chatting with him last night. Dude, no big deal.
Yeah.
I guess they decided they just didn't have time. So and that happens all the time, and it's completely legitimate. Hey, we've got this story we want to tell. We can't squeeze everything in. We're going to have to cut that entirely. Cool. Mm-hmm. Happens all the time.
Well, I think that's all I've got. I don't want to say surprised, but kind of surprised with how good Supergirl's been this year. So far, I mean, we're 2 episodes in, so they have plenty of time to screw up.
Yeah.
But so far, you know, aside from some silly arm flapping from Metallo, I'm pretty good.
Great episode. They found their stride pretty hard in the middle of last season, I thought. So, to me, as long as they didn't lose that, we were in for a treat. I
mean, they could do a little tune-up, get a little closer to the Flash in terms of like how good they are consistently, but right now they're pretty damn good.
I mean, every week I look forward to hitting up Supergirl.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say this is the show I look forward to most, aside from the Flash, but you know what? And we're going to talk about this later, but Arrow's really damn good this year so far.
Really? Yeah, hitting on all cylinders.
So, I don't know. But next we're going to be talking about the Flash 303. And, oh man, this is a good one. So, as if most of them aren't. So we are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher as well. Subscribe to us there to get every new episode. Proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network. GiantSizeTeamUp.com. Like I said, coming back with Flash 303 review Magenta. Until then, keep some DC on your screen.